How's it going, guys? Another little weekend bonus video I thought I'd just do. So one of my most popular series on my channel is my Cmake tutorial thing. Honestly, I just kind of wung this and did my best at explaining what I knew. And for a lot of these, I did a lot of research before, doing them and scripted them. And I did the best I could. And sure, they're not perfect, but a lot of people seem to really appreciate them. But every once in a while, someone comes along and leaves a hilarious comment, and yeah, I'll show you what they are in a second. And I like to respond to these ones and ask them what they've found that's better. This happens every once in a while. So I try to respond to all the good ones, or at least heart them or something. But these ones I usually just ask, oh, cool. Well, I'm glad you found something better. Go ahead and enlighten us. Let us know what you found. And their responses, you just can't help some people. So let's take a look at some of these because I just think they're funny. This is an example of what not to do. Like people aren't proud. These people are gonna have really hard times getting jobs because usually when someone has a really good criticism of something, if they've got a good answer, like they've got something better, you're like, all right, cool, let's hear you out. What do you got that's better? And if you don't have anything, you're just a negative, critical person without any better ideas than what you're criticizing. Makes you look really bad. So I guess it's just a lesson of what not to do. All right, well, let's take a look at some of these. All right, so here's the first one. I zoomed this way in so you can kind of focus it out. Cmake is fluffing garbage. Never use it on Windows if you're a C/C++ developer. All caps. Hours of wasted time and endless errors, no matter what you do. Well, do not use it ever. Well, let's just address this hours of wasted time and endless errors, no matter what you do. Well, it's not no matter what you do. You're doing it wrong. So there is a way to get around the errors. You just need to do it correctly. Okay? It's a false statement. This guy's obviously enraged, very mad. Whatever. You do YouTube videos, you kind of get used to these sort of comments. They happen. So you gotta just thicken your skin and be like, all right, this guy's making a fool of himself. So I politely asked. I get comments like this occasionally on these videos, and I always ask, what do you use instead? It's only been a day, so it hasn't been that long. No response. Nothing. He doesn't have any insight for us. Just wanted to let everybody know that he doesn't understand Cmake, and he's very mad about it. And no matter what you do, it's going to have errors. But the reality is, he's just doing something wrong. He's just making a mistake. Sure, it happens to all of us. Coding can be pretty frustrating in general when it feels like you're doing things right, but something's still wrong. It does happen. If you're not mentally prepared to handle that, it's possible that coding's not the right thing for you, or you just need to like accept that happens sometimes. And the worst thing you can do is make a fool out of yourself. So take a step back when you feel that way. All right, let's check out another great comment. Here we go. Cmake bad. All right, just Cmake bad. These are pretty rare. I had to scroll through a lot of great comments, so thank you for all the great comments to even find this one. These are I want to say rare, and I'm literally only addressing them because I think it proves a point. It's something that's worth learning. Okay, so I just respond, happy to hear you found something better. Please enlighten us. His response, not Cmake in my opinion. Yeah, I think we established that from your first comment. Care to enlighten us since you found something better? Imagine interviewing this guy and you tell him about your tech stack and he says it's terrible, and you as the interviewer go, okay, what do you use that's better? And he goes, not that. I think you just end the interview, right? And you say, okay, get out of here. He elaborates a little bit. All right, check out this elaboration. It's like, oh, that was a bad answer. Let me straighten this out. I feel like there's gonna be a CCMake, which just makes CMake list files. What? And then after that, CCCMake, which makes CMake, which makes CMake, which makes makefile that actually builds the project. Just write the build file. Can't be that hard. You feel like there's gonna be more tools to help handle tools that are kind of complicated. Okay, that doesn't answer the question. And no, it's not that hard to build a makefile. It's a little more actually quite a bit more complicated than a CMake file, if you ask me. But Cmake does more than that. I don't understand how this is what he came to. That's it. That's what he left it at that. I don't even know how to respond to that. I'm just flabbergasted that that's the answer. Imagine saying something like, say you use some video editing tool and someone says it's terrible and you go, oh, okay, what do you use that's better? And they say, not that one. And then you like kind of give them a confused look so they feel like they should elaborate, and maybe you're using DaVinci Resolve and they say that's the one that's terrible and they go, I just feel like there's going to be a DaVinci Resolve and then a DaVinci Resolve, and just use just go in there and go into the binary file of your video and like just manually edit it in a text editor. So yeah, the lesson is don't be like these people, basically. Okay, this one just confuses me, so I need a little help. People seem to be upvoting it, so I guess like people are agreeing with it, but I still don't get what it means. Sir, full video editing tutorial, step by step upload a video. I will really see I want to make a video editor. Okay, I get that maybe this language is first language is not English, and that's fine. But I still don't understand, even like trying to decipher it, think about it. Small grammatical errors aside, do you want like an all-in-one how to edit a video from start to finish and upload it, like everything? Or are you asking for like a coding tutorial about how to program and create your own video editor? I'm honestly not sure, and the more I read it, the more I'm not sure. But it's got upvotes, so and they're not from me. So someone wants it. Can you guys maybe help me on this one? What he's asking for, or what people are asking for? Because I'm not. I don't get this one, but I'll try. I digress, and I scroll, and I scroll. Ah, here we go. Here's another one that's a bit critical. Understand the basics, yeah, as every command doesn't work. It doesn't seem to be the basics of Cmake as you pretend. Just the command make doesn't work. You try to launch Cmake. Well, you gotta go to the directory. I don't know if I said that in this one or not, but you can't. Make doesn't magically navigate through all your directories. Finding your make file, you gotta go to the directory where your make file is and then type make. So maybe you're doing that wrong. And then you launch cmake-b, but for me it does nothing. Okay, well, that's just build directory. You got to give it a build directory, and you got to point to your source. So that's what the -s is. But I'm guessing he's just doing it all wrong and not actually paying attention. So I don't know. So I responded with seems to work okay for most people. I don't know if your setup is different or if you're doing something wrong. Always hard to tell with comments like this, but best of luck to you. His response: the main problem of your video is that we need to pre-configure our computer with some tool sets like Ming GW64 or Clang or Cmake, or use Ming 32 Make instead, but because it's not by default supported by Windows. All right, yeah, this, I guess maybe you're right. Maybe we need a pre-video one that says how to set up your computer for Cmake and every different possible combination of compilers out there that you could possibly use with Cmake ever. That's a ridiculous video to make, and I simply can't do it without, I don't know, days and days of research and me going to friends and say, hey, can I borrow your Mac so I can figure this out on Mac? Let me go install Linux on the new computer and get it all set up and test here and record there, put it all together. To do what he's asking here is like 80 hours of work. Yeah, set up your environment, do some basic Google searches on how CMake works in that particular environment, and adapt accordingly. It's way easier than me trying to make a video that covers every single possible different option. It's kind of a ridiculous request. I understand you're frustrated, but my God, settle down. Just, pick your compiler and stick with your thing. And if you switch it, stick with that thing for a while. I don't feel like this is as big of a deal as some of these people are making it out to be. Yeah, so after a while, I didn't really know how to respond to this person, but someone chimed in and said, hey, if you actually want to program C on Windows, there are other tool sets. This is basically Linux or OS Linux. You can use Windows Subsystem for Linux and WSL for that, sure. Yeah, there are a million different options, and you just kind of got to pick one and try it out. I've tried a lot out in the past, but you see my recent videos of coding and stuff. You know what I tend to stick with now, but there's no reason I couldn't switch back to the other one, but there's a ton of them I've never tried, but I've seen work okay, and I'm sure I could adapt to them if I needed to. I'm not sure how my answer helps there, but I just kind of throw that out there. All right, and let's see, and they respond, yeah, it works, but it's got some issues. I didn't have with a virtual machine. Okay, yeah, you definitely got to do some adaptations for your particular compiler and environment. As like I said, a very complicated subject. But if you narrow it down to say, okay, what am I using currently? How does Cmake work with this? It simplifies it a lot. So maybe I could start making sets of videos that like are for each individual setup. Uh, I could probably start plugging away at that, kind of one at a time rather than trying to do an all in one. Because, each individual I could probably do in a lot less time. But I just don't feel like it's very necessary, is the thing, because, well, maybe it is. I guess I don't know. How to solve circular dependencies in big projects. Well, generally, yeah, it's hard to answer without specific examples, but actually this came up several times in my latest series, so maybe you've seen that. If you're using a lot of header only stuff, you got to be real careful about what order you include stuff in. Make sure you're putting pragma once at the top of your files, and I don't know. Give me a specific example, and I'll probably be able to tell you. All right, a few others came out here. So I made a video, the Visual Studio about the bug. It's sort of, I don't know. I kind of discovered it's more like a miscommunication than a bug. They got a search that says it searches all your files and inside files, and it just simply doesn't. But there is a way to actually do that with Visual Studio. So yeah, and I thought I explained that pretty clearly in the video and in the update. But someone says 2022 is definitely worse as Visual Studio 2022. It's like a AAA game, but for coding. Absolutely riddled with development halting bugs, and you should not be there to begin with. And it's not open source, so you can't fix that. That has not been my experience. Bugs. I found a few maybe oddities, but nothing I couldn't work around with a little bit of not much. Like I just streamed today, and I had to figure out for unit tests how to make your working directory the same as the test directory, because oddly enough it doesn't set to that automatically, so you got to make this weird macro. But I don't find 2022 to be worse in any way. I don't see how it's worse. It seems maybe a little better. And so I just simply asked, I hear you, but do you have any documented examples or proof? Well, someone actually responded. I didn't notice this. At first, I thought you were talking about the actual year, not the VS version. Here's a funny one. This guy must have been bitter. Thanks for the huge volume music at the end. You're welcome, I guess. You can stop the video or pause it or turn it down or skip it. And there's plenty of fair warning. I put text up before that said, hey, I'm going to play this song out, and it slowly increases in volume. And it's a sweet song, so maybe you're just bitter. All right, so I'm having actually a hard time finding any more negative or critical comments, and I'm trying to mostly kind of just knock those out in this video. Because I think in general, those are more interesting for you guys to hear my response on than me just saying thanks over and over. But I really do appreciate the good comments, and I try to let you guys know that as much as I can when you leave them. So I just really appreciate your guys' support, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It's it's just gonna come out as a bonus video. I don't know how else to come out with something like this. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a good one. Peace out.